Jason Light, he was talking to Rich Eisen just a couple days ago, and he said that if Tom Brady wants to play till he's 50, he's got a fucking job right here if he wants it. Jason Light says, if Tom Brady wants to play until he's 50, go ahead. Because Rich asked him, hey, when you're talking about that contract extension you gave Tom Brady after the Super Bowl at the age of 43, 44, whatever he is right now, incredible, whatever it is, did you guys talk about how long this thing could go? And Jason said, I'm not going to have any private conversations, Leak, but if Tom wants to play till he's 50, he can play till he's 50 as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now, that is the type of place that Aaron Rodgers sees, Russell Wilson sees, other quarterbacks that potentially end up in a situation that isn't similar to the Buccaneers, Chiefs, or maybe even the Rams because of what they're trying to go for it as well with Matthew Stafford. If you're on a team that isn't all the way committed to you, you could see how some of these other quarterbacks are like, look what fucking Tom's getting. Tom, now listen, he won a lot of Super Bowls with Bill Belichick. They were together a long time. It is going to be impossible for two people that are like Tom and Bill to be able to work together for 20 years. It's why like in the corporate worlds at those super high levels where the attitude you have to get to those jobs, I don't have it. Okay, I'm also not a starting QB in the NFL, best of all time, or a head coach, general manager in the NFL, best of all time. It's hard for those two types of people to get along for as long as they did. 20 years is unbelievable that it worked that long, especially with how we're hearing the relationship went. It's unbelievable that happened, and they won a lot of success. Tom got coached hard. You know, he wasn't treated any differently. That was the big story. Like everybody's treated the same. It's Patriot Way. Patriot Way is fuck Tom Brady. Okay,
that's right.
Patriot Way is Tom Brady's Tom Brady, but so is Teddy Bruschi. Like everybody is the exact same here. That's the Patriot Way. And then now he goes to a place, first year, wins a Super Bowl. They couldn't even practice, they changed the offense halfway through the year. He has the entire organization behind him. And I'd assume whenever these quarterbacks talk to each other up in that
upper echelon.
That quarterback world. I assume Tom's like, man, this is fucking awesome down here. And they're all like, I fucking bet it is. Yeah, it is. You got 10 weapons. You can play till you're 50. You can do whatever you want. They're extending you. They're doing whatever the hell. It sounds amazing. And that's probably, and Albert Breer reiterated this week. And it was something I think we kind of landed upon through our having to speak about situations for 3.5 hours every fucking day. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers situations, I think are happening directly because of what's going on in Tampa Bay with Tom. Yep. And Jason Light coming out and saying he could play however long he fucking wants to. I think that just even adds more to it. And it's unbelievable that Jason Light and BA have been able to do this. I assume that there's been a lot of GMs and coaches who are like, wouldn't it be cool if we just sign everybody and we just do that whole thing? And now they're actually accomplishing it. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Rams started this thing, but they fucked it up. They didn't know how to work the salary cap as well as the Chiefs have been able to work the salary cap, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are working the salary cap. It feels like this is something that's going to happen, especially as other Mount Rushmore quarterbacks see what's going on. They start expecting the same for them. How could you not expect them to expect the same thing? I think.
Well, and it goes back to like Peyton too. I mean, I'm not sure if Rodgers or that have the same like any type of relationship with him, but you see that it's like, okay, you know, I mean, shit, he's coming off neck surgery, and it's like, hey, he's still got it. Let's do everything we can to maximize.
They gave him the keys to the organization when he went to Denver.
Exactly.
That's how it's being described. They gave him the keys to the building. Do whatever you got to do.
And those guys obviously feel like they're in that tier with him. So it's like, you know, you should see all this stuff going on, and then you go in and you have no say on personnel, and you feel like you're getting disrespected all the time. Apparently Russ, you know, not just Rodgers, Russ as well. It just like, yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to fucking grind at you after a while.
You could see, I mean, people are like, just shut up, it's football or whatever. But if you actually just put yourself in that position, you could see how it would be tough not to be like, well, I mean, it would be nice if the guy I throw to in practice every single day, can we have him on the team? We'll see, of course.
What do you mean
Tom Brady signing Gronk out of retirement. He's bringing him down. He's got Antonio Brown coming back for a second year. Mike Evans will take a pay cut. Godwin's going to stick around. They're bringing in Leonard Fournette. Yeah. Hey, I need this thing to happen here on this offensive line too. Let's do that. Yeah, you got it. Peyton's going over there. He's fucking. We need to change the weight room. Don't need that anymore. We need something different. We need this different. We need to do this. Yeah, you got it. You got it. And then these guys are just like, can we potentially have this guy on the team? They're like, we'll think about it. It's like, well, fucking think. I mean, all these other teams are winning, doing something. Can we just try it out? You could see how you potentially get to that point. It feels like maybe that is what happened with Russ and Aaron. But with Aaron's situation, none of us know anything at this point.
And when
Jason Light said that Tom Brady can play till he's 50 if he wants. He said, you know what? Whatever Tom wants. Rich asked him if they had talked about future whenever they extended the contract. He says that's a private conversation. Not going to talk about it, Rich, all right?
Can't do it.
Which I kind of respect a lot. But then he went on to say, if Tom wants to play till he's 50, he can be a Buccaneer for however long he wants. Jason Light says, okay, I'll have a job at least for the next 7 years here. If you're here, that's how I see this thing. Play for however long the hell you want, pal. How do you feel about this? And do you not think that we went on an entire speculative rant earlier about how Aaron and Russ, this is kind of like Albert Breer brought this back to the forefront this week, and I think he confirmed our suspicions that the Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation is a situation that a lot of other quarterbacks have looked at and gone, they're winning. Okay, they're winning. The quarterback is just being helped out immensely from the entire organization. How come we can't do that? How come Peyton went to Denver to give him the keys to the organization? How come we can't do that? It feels like Jason Light is like the most supportive general manager to a quarterback maybe in the history of the NFL at this point. Is that going to change things, you think? I think it has to. I think it absolutely has to, right, going forward. Don't the quarterbacks have all the power?
I think quarterbacks absolutely have all the power, because if you don't have a guy, you're not going to win. But there's only going to be – is there ever going to be another Tom Brady type character come through the NFL? Probably. I mean, we're seeing young superstars come out every single year in the draft. So I think Aaron, players are taking more power, but – don't you think you said it right, Pat? That Russ and Aaron have to see this and be like, okay, here we go.
I thought you were just
look what's happening.
Yeah, I was trying to find a picture of Aaron to remind you. Like, yeah, Aaron has to be. And by the way, once again, I have not talked to Aaron, but Aaron, and I assume this is with Russ as well, how that whole thing started, if any of it's true, by the way. We don't know at this point what's true and what isn't true, but let's assume there's maybe something. You see that, you got to be pissed.
Yeah.
You got to be absolutely pissed. And here's another thing I heard, by the way, sources have told me. Teams reaching out to players of teams, asking them what we need to do to get back in the building or whatever. And players and teams are kind of working it out because they assume that the NFLPA and the NFL won't be able to figure out something, because that's a much larger conversation that has to happen. But from my sources, I've been told that teams have been trying to figure it out with the players. Like, what do we need to do to get you back in here? If some other team won't do that, we will do it. So let's just get you back in here and let's do this thing. So I think we're going to see some individual team-like changes in the NFL schedule, the entire yearly schedule, which is fascinating.
Well, I think I saw something about that online where teams are talking to players and whatever. They're trying to figure out, aren't they almost negotiating, like we're going to have a walkthrough pace to some of our OTAs? I saw something like that.
Yeah, like, hey, we ain't going full speed, all right? Listen, we come to these things, but when we show up, you guys make us fly around.
Yeah.
Okay, you're making us run into each other. We got to hit each other. We got these little what is skeleton? I think is what it's called. I don't remember the
shoulder shocks, whatever.
Yeah, like the little sock. It's like I think you see it in 7-on-7 sometimes. Guys are wearing
the ones that you can wear under your pads as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes. Yeah, those ones. You just wear those or whatever. But since there is a little bit of pad, I mean, you guys can thud each other. You can kind of get there, right? You can get the...
You got to fit up. You got to fit up is what they'll tell you.
Yeah, you can fit up. You can feel. You can set an edge, too. You can go ahead and dip right there a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you got guys who are trying to make a team and make a living that aren't maybe the starters, and they're filling in for maybe a backup who's going against the starters. And you got guys that are like in their 8th year or whatever, that are in a walkthrough, and you got a guy who's trying to earn a living for the first time in his life. And it's like, all right, come on, man. Can we? What are we doing here? This guy's diving at my knees right now. Can we slow this thing down? It is a walkthrough. It's like, yeah, but you've also, there's kind of a lot of, implied things, I think, that happen in those walkthroughs that a lot of people don't fully understand either, AJ.